Live at the Hampton Classic Horse Show. We're going to, Peter, take a look at the crosswalk. Let's take a look at it.
Here's our jump off. We begin with a new jump, jump number 15. Here we go. We're going to zone in on it's on the far end of the field. The riders get a chance to start at a dead gallop. They gallop across the field to a tall vertical, and then a sharp right-hand turn to the original fence 2. That's a hard turn. Then gallop back across the field to the original 4AB, that very difficult yellow, black, and white in and out. Sharp left turn to a wide square oxer. This is a difficult jump to make a tight turn on. Then fly across the field to the tall Jaguar vertical, and then it's the run home to the Longines oxer, what was the middle oxer, the middle element of the triple combination. And there it is. We've got 5 riders jumping off this afternoon, and why don't we go for it? Let's see.
Okay.
What do you think, Ernie?
Well, ladies first.
Oh, there you go. Yes, I agree. Ladies first. Maggie?
I'm going to go with Haley. Haley on Zephyr. I think she put in a really good first round. I know she's hungry for a win at this level. It'd be probably her biggest win of her career in the jumper division, and she had a very good round earlier in the week with this horse. So I think she's going to go out and give it her all, and I hope it works out for her.
All right. So Sapphire and Haley Barnhill is Maggie's pick. Ernie?
Georgina Bloomberg, Crown 5. And you had mentioned, Maggie, that Crown 5 was new here.
I think maybe this is the biggest class she's jumped with that horse. I know she had it in Spruce Meadows, but he jumped the first round easy, so that's a very good pick.
Crown 5, that horse has some spring in its step, I have to tell you.
You got a feeling about that one, huh?
Real
Well, you got a good jockey. She's got good order in the jump off. Well, I'm going to go with, order of going the jump off. I'm going to go with experience, and I'm going to go with an older rider, an older horse, and last draw. Paul O'Shea and Scaraglen's Alphine is my pick.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, I thought we all were going to be picking the same, but
I think we're all going to be wrong.
The world go round.
We're all going to be wrong betting against.
And my number 2 pick, just so I give you my reserve pick, Jeffrey Wells.
I was gonna
Jeffrey.
Yes.
I think Jeffrey's gonna.
If he wasn't going so early in the order, I'd have to have a toss up between Paul O'Shea and Jeffrey Wells. Now, for that young rider, Haley Barnhill, I think that's just awesome that you're putting your chips on her.
Mm-hmm.
And what a win it would be going first out of the box. So does she, I don't know Haley very well. Does she have the personality she's going to lay it all down?
Haley is for sure a competitive rider. She won the medal in Maclay finals as a junior, so I think that is something about how
water in her veins.
Exactly how she can handle the pressure. And this is a horse she's had for almost 3 years now, that they went up in the ranks through the under 25 classes, and now they've stepped up a new level. So she knows
the underpinnings are there.
She knows the horse well, and wish her the best of luck.
One of the things that, as a coach and as a rider, I look for is that if you don't start with the winning pace before you even get near number 1, it's difficult to win.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oop, 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 oop. Haley taking no guff from Sapphire. That can be a little disturbing when that happens before you go to fence 1. She's good over number 1.
3, 4. That was 10 strides.
10 strides. She's definitely taking advantage of it. Look at the footing give way a little bit.
She's going to have to
over.
Long gallop to the double.
Amazing how athletic these giant horses are. Still going clear. This is another tight roll back on an oxer. She's good. There's the 8 strides, and now it's the run home. Did the 10.
Woo!
Look at that.
Didn't come off the ground the best way to that last jump, but wonderful clear.
Time of 42.51 seconds.
Fabulous ride by Haley.
All right.
I think something like that in the beginning when you see her not want to go, Haley knows her well enough to not let that frazzle her too much. She's a mare with a lot of attitude.
We watch out for those. Have respect for a mare with a lot of attitude. So here we go to Jeffrey Wells. This is his highlight of his jumper show this week. He will not be competing tomorrow. So for him, this is his Sunday Grand Prix.
Jeffrey had a good win with this horse in Saugerties, right?
Yes, he did. He's a very fast rider. He's had a lot of success with this horse over the last 18 months. Nice
he really
gallop.
took his time with this horse, too. 3, 4.
There's the 10 strides, the same as Haley Barnhill. That's a hard turn. The ground gives way quite easily. Important thing is that when the riders land, that they land and go forward. This is a tough double. Oh, jumped that
I
great.
think he may have jumped that higher in this round than the jump off. And then the first round, sorry.
Hard left-hand turn, jump down. Haley is still our leader. And if a horse is really on it, there is a nine strides from the Jaguar to the Longines Oxer. He did the 10, but he was slowing up a little bit because he had a rail. So that's 1 down for Jeffrey in 43.65. So he did not have Haley's time. He did have 1 down. Now we have Molly Ash Cawley on the 8-year-old Cockadoodle. I saw Molly schooling this horse this morning, giving it a little jump, letting it get some kicks out. It's a small little horse, but it's a sprightly one. Molly has represented the United States equestrian team on numerous occasions, won the Grand Prix of Dublin a number of years ago. And even though she may be doing more strides than the 2 big strided horses we just saw, this horse is a fast type.
Very quick across the ground.
There she's hustling on over. Tighty left-hand turn.
That was very tight.
Wow. 2 jumps to go. Don't think she's going to have the time. It's going to be close. Nope. Nice clear round. Great result for the 8-year-old. That's going to be 43.86.
Time of 43.86,
86.
huh? Time to beat,
And that's understandable that
42.51.
Molly just sort of kept it together instead of letting it all go.
Yeah, she was efficient, but
That's-
not crazy.
Ernie, here's your pick. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Georgina Bloomberg on the beautiful gray Crown 5. This horse looks like it's a lovely model. Its carriage is uphill.
Yes.
It's got a nice canter. It's a good feeling riding to the jumps when you have that kind of balance.
Very composed.
All right, Georgina. And she did 11 strides there. That was 1 more than Haley. Still clear. A little bit organized coming to the double. Good turn. And it's
Ooh.
down. Front rail just like Jeffrey Wells. Let's see if she can beat Jeffrey's time and move into 3rd place. She's good on the clock.
Well,
1 down. Well, Maggie, you've picked the winner so far. It's
So
down
far.
to Paul O'Shea.
which
And
was your pick. So
well,
you guys are going head to head.
this is going to win.
One of us is a winner.
I know exactly what kind of beer I want. So,
I don't think.
Glen's Dolphin is owned by Ira Gunberg. Paul O'Shea has been riding for Ira for a number of years now and done just an absolutely wonderful job. Ira likes to buy young horses and have his riders bring them along. It's a magnificent show jumping program, and Paul O'Shea, a gentleman and one heck of a rider.
I was just gonna say I don't think he's gonna give this to Haley easily. I think
Oh,
he's
no.
gonna go for it.
No, he's either going to win or lose.
Yep.
There's no in between.
Exactly.
Good so far. Look at the turn. Come on, Paul. He's still up. Moving across the big field. First it's A, then it's B. Now turn. Got to keep your hind feet
Oh,
underneath you.
slipped a little there in the
slippage is
turn.
tough. It's still up. 2 jumps to go. He's good on time.
Oh, it's gonna be close
It's
for
going to
sure.
be very close.
And a
41.52.
beautifully ridden round.
Congratulations,
great
Paul
ride.
O'Shea. Don't
What
bet
a-
against Peter Leone.
But to keep your composure like that.
I just know the competitors. This man is a winner, and you know there's an intangible. He had bad luck yesterday. He was eliminated. He's not in tomorrow's class. He knew that today was his last dance. He was a man on a mission, combined with the fact that he's talented, he's competitive, and he's a winner. Great ride.
Super, and
Wonderful.
to see the horse slip a few times like it did in the jump off, and to keep his composure and not let it alter his plan. Very well done.
That's a lesson that I want to learn.
So looking at our board here,
Almost
Peter.
had it by a full second.
Paul O'Shea, number 1.
Haley Barnhill coming in second place. She led off the jump off field with a brilliant fast clear. Molly Ash-Cawley with the young 8-year-old Cockadoodle coming in third. And then Georgina Bloomberg and Jeffrey Wells round out the top 5. We had some great sport out here today for the Longines Cup, the CSI 4-star $40,000 Grand Prix.
All right, stay with us. We're going to have a press conference with our winner, Paul O'Shea. So we'll be coming back here in a moment. So stay with us after this quick break. That was exciting. I don't want to bet against you. I tell you.
No.
I've been losing.
You're watching the Hampton Classic Horse Show on WVVH-TV, Hampton's television.
It's always wonderful to see the winner's circle. You know what this is like. You've been there before, and hopefully you'll be there tomorrow.
It's a great feeling, and Paul O'Shea has to feel wonderful right now. He's on the magnificent Glenn's Dolphin, and he was a man on a mission today, Paul. He went out there, he delivered a clear round late in the order, last in the jump off, and just nailed it. Now we're looking at Georgina Bloomberg on her beautiful gray mount. Had an unfortunate 4 faults in the jump off, but that was a very promising horse. We'll see Georgina jumping tomorrow in the 250,000, and there Jeffrey Wells is getting his 5th place ribbon with the handsome gelding named Broken Heart. That is sired by the famous show jumping stallion Heartbreaker. A really nice finish for Jeffrey today. He's had a good week, and as we shared before, this is his Sunday. He will not be jumping tomorrow. We'll miss him. He's a former 2-time winner of the Sunday Grand Prix at the Hampton Classic. And there we go. There's Paul with the beautiful Longines cooler, his handsome horse. And boy, what a sweet feeling it is doing that victory gallop. And there's a lot of crowd out there that's cheering Paul on. letting him know how much they love him and his great riding. They'll miss him tomorrow. But right now, today is Paul O'Shea's day. Haley Barnhill behind, Georgina Bloomberg. And then I imagine Molly's horse must be nervous in the presentation because she did not come out to ride. So we just have the 4 riders, 4 of the 5. There's Jeffrey Wells. Thank you, Paul. Great sport.
Well, that was wonderful to see Paul win today after what he went through yesterday. This is wonderful. But this is such a great event. There are plenty of days, but tomorrow is the big one.
It sure is. I mean, all the riders are going to lose just a little bit of sleep tonight, wondering what's the course going to be like tomorrow. All the money that's at stake. It's great drama, and you know, to get those butterflies in your stomach when you're standing in the in gate and wondering, can my horse do this? That's the kind of course we're going to have tomorrow. We're going to have some fantastic jumping, so we have a lot to look forward to.
It's a big day tomorrow. You're going to be participating in the Hampton Classic Grand Prix, but when you're not there, you'll be coming to see us.
I'll be with you. I'll be going fairly early in the order tomorrow, so the odds are I'll be spending most of the class with you, if not all of it. I hope I'll have to take a break for the jump off, but you know, now you know I'm a betting man. I wouldn't bet too much money.
Oh, that's
on me
one
tomorrow.
bet you're wrong on. You've been flawless in your picks this week.
Well, then I like I said, I think I'll be with you for the jump off tomorrow, right here with the viewers for WVVH.
Peter, I think our viewers know that you're an author, you're a teacher of this great sport, and you have those great DVDs and book, and it's available at Lion's Share Farm.
At lionsharefarm.com. You know, it's a book that's written for those of you that are starting in the sport, that just love horses, just love riding. While the more advanced riders that are out here competing today find some interesting things in the book and in the DVD, it's really written for the individual horse owner, the kid and the adult that want to step their game up a notch at any level. So we have one really wonderful lesson that I'd like to take a moment and share with you guys. One of my young riders, a junior rider, has never been to the Hampton Classic before. And it's called the Hampton Classic because every division has a finale called the Classic. In the international division, it's called the Grand Prix. And there's a lot of Grand Prix here, and then every kid goes in a Classic. Well, this is a big show. It's really hard. And honestly, there's a lot of riders that come here for the first time, and they get chewed up and spit out by the intensity of the competition and the pressure. So anyway, one of my young ladies had a very difficult day yesterday, and she's like, oh my goodness, I don't know, maybe I should take a break from riding. And we had quite the talk yesterday afternoon, and we said, look, that's why you're riding. It's not about winning every time you go out there. It's about when you get knocked down, it's about getting up and digging in and getting back into the competition and overcoming, you know, your bad day. So Paul O'Shea, what an example. He had the kind of day that a lesser competitor would have just left last night, gone home, and said, geez, I don't know if I should jump until next season. But what an example Paul O'Shea set for the kids and up-and-coming riders in the sport of show jumping.
Sure did. There's
eliminated yesterday, doesn't get to go in the Grand Prix tomorrow, came back out here, double clear, won the Longines Cup. I thank you, Paul. And that's a lesson to the kids.
It was his to win, and he made it happen. He didn't give up, and he realized it was his one and only shot. And you know what? Second to the Grand Prix on Sunday. This is an important
the biggest one. This is the second biggest class. Now, I also have to say, for anyone watching that knows my students, my young rider after having a real tough day yesterday, came out, went timer to timer, and had a real good performance today, and is a champion in her own right. I'm real proud of her.
It's really a lifelong lesson. If you're going to participate in any sport, but especially in this one, we talked about it on Sunday. It's like wearing a tuxedo, getting all dressed up, the commitment of being here and getting hit in the face with a pie. It's it's brutal.
You're right.
It's brutal.
And you know, many of you have heard of the legendary coach and rider and trainer George Morris, and my brothers and I have had the good fortune of training with George for many years, both as a chef to keep on U.S. teams and also as a individual trainer. And George always said, horses just don't teach you about riding; they teach you about life, and that's a life lesson. It builds character. Sorry to get so deep, but
well, we have a moment. We're going to be cutting to our press conference in the Longines Chalet in a few moments. But this is important because we want our viewers to know, especially those of you who are not connected with the equestrian world, why these people do what they do and the level of commitment that they have. And we were so blessed to have this lovely young lady,
Maggie McAleer. She is one of the best and will be one of the greats. She's a real talent. She's focused. She's got ice water in her veins. She's a real competitor. We'll be seeing her jump tomorrow.
When you see young people committed to this sport, these are young people who live a life of dedication, not to themselves, but to their profession, to their horse. You're getting up like you at...
It's a life's work. It's a life commitment. The commitment to the horse, the commitment to detail, the commitment to winning, but winning correctly. And like golf, there's a lot of ups and downs. In tennis, the #1 seed usually is right up there and usually wins. In golf, that's not the case. The #1 golfer in the world is usually in the thick of it, but doesn't always win. And when you see a guy like McLean Ward go out there and win like almost every time, that's just, you're witnessing history. You're witnessing one of the world's greats when you see a rider win most of the time, because it just doesn't happen in the sport.
For all
of
those
jumping.
Elements to come together is a very, very rare thing.
Ernie, you mentioned something a little earlier about getting pie in the face and the young riders coming out to the Hampton Classic and all the kid, all the people
Was that
watching.
too strong an analogy?
No, it's true, and one of the things that I've been so far past it as a professional rider and as a competitor that I got reminded of it numerous times this week, where some of the young kids I'm working with turn around and say, did I look like a bobo out there when I made my mistake? Or what did people think when I didn't win? And honestly, part of becoming a tunnel vision focused competitor means you don't give a darn about what other people
exactly.
think. It's about you, your horse, your trainer, your support team. If you guys know you went out there and did right by yourself, that's all that matters. And not that it's not nice to have everybody see you do great, but what's important is that you know how you did, and that your coach was pleased, and it doesn't matter whether it's riding, show jumping, tennis. It really doesn't matter. Anyway,
no,
you brought up a good point. And
well, the point came about when Debbie Stevens was here, and she said, Ernie, we put our uniform on, our coat. We're all beautifully dressed. Our hair, the horses are treated in a way to look special. Everything is brought to the highest level. And at the end of the day, you might suffer a disappointment. And
it's part of the journey.
Part of the journey. And you
the
do it
winners
again.
are the ones that when they have a setback, they come back stronger. And that's what the people in this sport, the riders in this sport, the families in this sport get a chance to endure. They get a chance to master. And that's why so many people that excel in riding excel in life.
That's the point.
Great thing.
You know, we celebrate the winners. It makes for the headline, who won today's class. We celebrate, but we also celebrate the fact that when you do win, it covers a whole host of times when you didn't win.
Isn't that the truth?
And that's
Hear, hear.
really that's really why we're maybe talking about this, because this is a sport where you have to give it your all. It's a very expensive sport in order to make the commitment to be here, to be in a ring with
At
you know,
this
the best.
level, it is
This
expensive.
level?
There's no question, but there are you know, there's many ways to enjoy equestrian sport
Oh, absolutely.
without spending a lot of money. For sure, it does cost, but you don't have to be a millionaire to
Right, and you
to
have
enjoy
junior
horses
riders
and
at
be
your
a good
farm,
rider.
and you give lessons, and
Sure.
you know, there's a whole opportunity. And if you're someone who's interested in the sport, there's something called sweat equity that allows you to have lessons in exchange
The
for
more sweat, the more equity. That's for sure.
exactly. Well, are we going to the press conference? I think we're going to be swinging over to the press conference.
The standards after the long run with the black vertical, and then the footing a little bit sometimes gets a little soft when you're spinning back. So I think everybody was a little guarded, and then it was a square wide officer. For me, I just try to keep going, keep a nice rhythm, so you're not motor to get on that one, and then worry about what was coming after.
I definitely got stuck in the corner there, and I was very far off that fence. My horse was fantastic there. He really pulled it out of the bag and helped me out. And like Molly said, the main thing in a situation like that is
I just wanted to really be careful about that jump. That was a little bit of a tougher turn. It was a little bit of something.
John?
Haley, Paul just said he was at an advantage going last year, at disadvantage going first. If you could do it again, is there anything you would do different to try to stay in front of Paul?
I probably would have done one less stride with the jump we were just talking about. I think if I think back on it, I just was a little bit conservative there, but you know, I could have also had a real hand with one less. So I was very happy.
Nancy?
Paul, I saw that you went right over to some people who were cheering over in the stands. Are they friends of yours or a fan club?
my aunt and uncle and my cousin were here. I didn't know they were coming. I had other family here yesterday. They live in New York, and they were here last year, but they said they didn't want to disturb me before the class, you know. But it was very nice to see them there. Oh yeah. Definitely, yeah.
Heard the cheering, right?
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
Peter?
Paul, I have a thank you and a question for you. The Hampton Classic is such a challenging event for so many young riders. They come here, they're nervous, they have a difficult day, and how do they even get up in the morning to go out and try to compete the next day? So your win today, after your unfortunate bad luck yesterday, was such a great example to the young kids out here at the Hampton Classic and the riders in our community. So that's a huge thank you. I mean, that was just awesome.
Thank you, Peter. But it actually took me a long time to learn to, before if I made a mistake, it would take me a long time to forget it. But I suppose I've been doing it a while now, so now I've learned if I make a mistake. Actually, what I think now, when I make a mistake, now I say to myself, I know something good is coming. Before, if I made a mistake, I would say to myself, and feel guilty about it and say, I'm not good enough. But now, if I make a mistake or it doesn't go well, then I say, okay, I know something good is coming.
And that leads to my question, which is how much of any factor was your day yesterday in your win today?
It was obviously, I wanted it to go well. But I don't know would I have done anything different if yesterday had gone differently, but I really wanted it to go well. This is my last class here, and I didn't qualify for the Grand Prix. So, I was really, I suppose, focused, and I wanted it to go well.
Congratulations, outstanding.
Thank you.
Can you tell us what happened yesterday?
I've forgotten about it already. I can't remember.
But you won today, Paul. And actually, we'll mention Paul has had a phenomenal summer. This is at least the third Grand Prix win that I know about in Lake Placid and Silver Oak in Massachusetts. So winning here at the Hampton Classic, I know, is always extra special. Any other questions before we finish up? John?
Molly, it looked like you were being a little conservative with your younger horse. Was that the case?
Yeah, this is maybe her third meter 50 class, and meter 50 can mean a lot of different things. So this was probably her second real sort of full of all the questions course that she's done. And I really like that horse. I think she's got a great future. So I didn't want to take any real chances. And she hit one hard in the schooling area by accident, which I didn't really want to have happen. So I just wanted to make sure she was confident and bring it home nice double clear.
And Molly, we were downstairs and getting ready for presentations, and you made the comment, if you're in the same position tomorrow, you'll be very happy. I took that as a reflection on the Hampton Classic, that ribbons here mean a lot more than most other places.
For sure, I think this is one of the best horse shows in our country. We all look forward to it year after year. We all put a lot into trying to be at our best once we get here, and it feels important. It feels good to do well on that field because it's taken a lot of prisoners over the years, I'd say. So to have some success out there, it feels like you've done things right.
Paul? I'd just like to say thank you to Longines for sponsoring, and it's fantastic. What they've done for our sport is incredible, and we're all extremely grateful. And also to all the organisers here and all the sponsors, and of course our fellow competitors. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paul. And on that note, I will expand just a teeny bit and thank Longines, not just what they do for the Hampton Classic, but as you referenced, for our sport in general, both in this country and worldwide with the FBI. Longines has come in and made a major impact for the betterment of our sport, and Mr. Capelli, we thank you and Longines very much. On behalf of Longines and the Hampton Classic, we congratulate Molly and Haley and of course Paul. We thank you. Paul, we know you're not going tomorrow. Molly, Haley, we'll hold seats for you here. And before we let you go, we would like to ask the four of you to please pose for pictures here in front of the backdrop. And Paul, I'd like to suggest you hold this watch. We know you're building a collection. Thank you all.